Tonight we complete the Pranic process online of this 8 days. We had a beautiful journey together and we shared really beautiful topics. We were immersed in this Christed energy for the Easter for for more than a week. And today we talk about freedom. We complete this class with a talk about freedom. As to me, freedom is the highest of the spiritual attainments. I've never really aimed for a specific superpower or a specific feature, if you will, to attain, not even breatharianism or pranic nourishment. That hasn't been my goal, still isn't, even though I'm quite on this path for a long while. My target, if you will, has always been freedom. On all levels, spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical, financial, and all of its aspects. I feel that it's the ultimate spiritual realization to be free, and the ultimate physical mastery as well, because in the physical world, as you see now, the lack of freedom can be very, very disempowering. So attaining a state of freedom and maintaining a state of freedom inwardly and in your day-to-day life is one of the highest states. I feel that this is what guided me to write this book, the Pranic World book, which is the first of a series. It's the Freedom series, that's how I call it. And the first one is Being Free from Hunger. The next one, which is in the process of being written, the planet is writing it right now, is Being Free from Fear. And the last one, I'm looking forward for that, me as well, is Being Free from Concepts. That is the ultimate freedom, having no ideas, no rigid concepts about anything. That's the ultimate freedom. And to me, to my perspective, today somebody wrote me to congratulate me on being a very balanced teacher on the Pranic path. He said many people are imbalanced in this niche, and that my teachings are some of the most accurate, aligned, and balanced. I was grateful, and of course I aim for this as well. I don't want to lead people into imbalances and lure them into the hopes of fast-paced tracks, because mine hasn't been fast-paced, and I don't believe anyone's really is. I believe we've all come from very ancient journeys. We've all shed layers of all kinds along our journeys, and finally now, maybe in this incarnation, we can be free. So since freedom is the topic of today, I would love to know, what is freedom to you? How do you feel free? In which is the situation and aspect when you feel free? And what would be the synonym, another word that you would use for freedom? Where would you like to be? Which area of your life would you like to be free? So type in the comments. If you can't type in the comments, use direct message. I know some features in my Facebook sometimes are, some people can't type for some reason. So use direct message, and type me a message with the word that means freedom to you, or the area of your life where you would love your freedom to be more expanded. I was really, really grateful today for our freedom here in our country. I feel that however the global situation is now, we are still freer in many aspects, and people have proven to be quite intelligent in this country, which I'm honored about, just because temporarily I was born and living here. I want to congratulate the Romanians on this occasion, because we've maintained a quite high degree of freedom, and we've managed to kind of get along with each other in these troubled times in a way that it is smoother for all of us. So I had this feeling of gratitude today, because I've spoken with people from many other countries who are really, really constricted in their freedom. I would love to see more freedom on the planet, the freedom to move, the freedom to travel, the freedom to unboundedly know that we are healthy without having to prove our health, just because we are, and we know our bodies and we know how we feel. I would love for us to be freer, to be conscious of all our states and knowing how to manage our inner states. I would love, love, love to have more freedom of movement across borders, or even no borders at all when the civilization is civilized and ready. That's the areas where I would love to see more freedom. It's not that my freedom is general freedom, right? It's the freedom of an entire planet that can influence each one of us, and the decisions of an entire planet can influence our personal freedom to some degree, right? I would love to see that. So where are the areas of your freedom? What would you like to see more freedom in? I smelled some roses, and I'm still having, the tendency uh, to sneeze. I would love to see your answers, and also type in the comments where are you joining from. So this is the last evening of the Pranic process online, the 8-day process to upgrade your being to all levels: physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. We have been together each day for 1 hour and a half. We are taking another series of 8 days from with this process right before the Orthodox Easter. So this has been the series for the um, Catholic Easter, in line with the Christed energy, and then we do one more for the Orthodox Easter, just because I've been guided to. So whoever missed this one can book in for the one on April 22nd. We're starting again for 8 days. Each day we share a topic like this with um, various levels of practices that we use for the specific topic. For example, in the topic of freedom, we're going to share some techniques and practices, and a specific meditation for a freer body, a freer mind, and a freer spirit. So who is up to that? Type yes in the comments. The meditation, however, is for the ones who are subscribed to this class. So you can still be in this last webinar, or you can be in the whole 8-day class. This is an option. The link is in the comments for the ones that are watching on Facebook. And yes, I would love to see or know where you're watching from, and what is the area of your life where you love to have more freedom. I'm also looking at the freedom in relationships, right? It's a lot of challenge now, because all couples are basically living together, right? And not going to work, most of them working from home, not having the same dynamics and habits where people were feeling free in a way, because they were having the occasion to share time and space with other people while being at work. Nowadays, there's not such thing for many companies and many employees. So you're sharing your time with your partner more and more. And how many of you are feeling free in your relationships? The freedom to talk about anything, the freedom to approach any subject without the fear of having your partner react in a certain unpleasant way. How many of you are feeling free to say what you really feel? That's a challenge, right? In a relationship, it would be awesome to be able to share what you really feel, but how many of you are really doing it, and how is it playing out for you? I love to know if people do have that freedom. To me, a relationship where I don't have the freedom of speech, the freedom of being myself, and the freedom of openly approaching any topic is a no-go. I'm basically not staying, or not even initializing such a relationship, not even in friendships, not in family, not in intimate relationships, because I like my freedom of speech, my freedom of being, and my freedom of choice. However, it's good that in our freedom we take decisions in such way that are in harmony with all, right? So it's good to have freedom, but it's also good to have the higher consciousness to take the right decisions that are in harmony with all others. I truly believe that a population is fully free when we are in a higher state of consciousness. The more our consciousness expands, the more we are able to decide in a harmless way, in a way that is harmless for others, that is not impacting others negatively, the more we have freedom, right? We were speaking this week in a gathering of the Resonance Science Foundation. A friend of mine, Asim Armim, was speaking about the freedom of having no laws, right? In a civilization where you would have no laws, how much freedom there would be. And I truly believe that no laws and no borders is the next step for a civilized society. Yet civilized means sharing in a mutual beneficial way, where there's win-win-win for everyone, like win for me, win for you, and win for everyone involved. So the more we have our high consciousness in place, the more our freedom is expanded. You see how it goes on this planet, and and in the universe as well, you know. This is the law of the universe. The law of freedom states that the higher you are in your consciousness, in your decisions, the more freedom you have. Basically, when you decide for the good of all, you can have the ultimate freedom. And when you take actions that are having a beneficial impact for an entire civilization, then your freedom ultimately grows. So are we ready to get to this level of freedom? Or are we still maybe caught in a game of playing small? That's another, aspect to look at. So if you're wondering how to be more free and how to gain more freedom, the answer is raise your vibration, increase your consciousness. And this is what this process actually is about, right? It wasn't meant ever to be a process just about pranic nourishment and becoming a breatharian or eating less and stuff like this. It's a process meant to to increase and heighten your state of consciousness, your vibration, your overall frequency, in such way that you basically are freer from your old habits, freer from your own patterns in relationships and in workspace and wherever you act as a human being, freer from food intake or your food habits, which is important because it's your fuel and it's what powers up your body, or it can destabilize your body, right? The way you choose your food and the freedom of not choosing any food are very, very important for your overall general state and performance in this world. And last but not least, the freedom of how to choose your relationships and your partners. That's really, really important as well. It's part of what tunes your vibration and what detracts your high vibration as well. So any questions, comments, or things to add before we go to the next level? Anyone wanting to add anything? I must change somehow the settings in this so that people can comment. I have no idea how to do this. In case you can't comment, please make sure that you send a direct message with any question or comment that you want to add, because I'm not sure if you are able to do so. Maybe you can type a yes in the comments if you are able to see the comments area, the ones who are online already. I'm interested in knowing that people are having access to the comment area now. Okay, so again, the topic of today is freedom. We're together for about 20-30 minutes. The full webinar is 1 hour and a half. We're still having lots of stuff to discuss and lots of depth to dive in. We're going full in with a meditation. Thank you, Ana Maria. Thanks for coming. I want to know if people have access to comments first and foremost. Some people were writing to me, we cannot comment, we don't see how we can. So that's why I'm really grateful for your comment, feedback, or questions. So the topic of today is freedom. We're together for 1 hour and a half, but we're only 30 minutes on Facebook. If you want to be on the full webinar on how to attain higher freedom and benefit from the meditation at the end, which is really, really powerful, as it's the meditation that completes an 8-day process of upgrading your vibration. If you want that, click the link in the yeah, I see. Click the link in this comment area or the link in the description of the video and just follow the steps there to get access to the class, or just tell me that you want to be in the class and you will make the payments later. Okay. Okay, so now somebody says yes, I have access to comments. Thank you. Somebody's sending hugs. I can see that some people are able to send comments. Thanks so much. Any questions on this topic of freedom and how to attain a higher level of freedom? Do you want to share or ask or add anything on this? And the initial question was, what is the area of your life where you would like to see more freedom? I want more freedom in traveling. I don't know if I mentioned that. In case I didn't, I'm stating, demanding, commanding now that I want more freedom in traveling. And I feel it's time for freedom in traveling. And I feel it's time for us to travel freely. Just because we've been locked enough. And now it's time to unlock, and it's to undo all the energies of the limitations that we've somewhat created in our realities just to play with it and play with the energy of limitation. Now it's time to really, really, really be free. How many of you are feeling this? How many of you are feeling that now it's time to be free? We've had enough of all. And even this, if you look at this, whenever you're bound to something that you want to happen in a certain way, you lose a little bit of your freedom. Even in that, even in this wish, even in this tendency, even if, if for us it would be completely equal whether we do have or don't have that specific thing, we would actually be able to manifest it quicker. Yes, somebody says, I wish to have freedom again, to have parties, gatherings, concerts, and also traveling. Yes, many people are feeling constricted on the uh, ability and freedom to socialize, and that's really impactful for the emotional body and the level of stress, because a lot of oxytocin is being released from us gathering together and sharing stuff with each other. So lots of joy, lots of happiness, and lots of fulfillment comes when people uh, are able to walk freely and um, be happy with each other, share with each other. So because for an entire year this hasn't been allowed, or it has only been allowed in very little degree and under certain strict conditions, people have become to develop a lower state, emotionally, or even depression, mild or severe depression, which is in itself quite detracting for our overall vibration. When we are able to find the joy in being by ourselves, with ourselves, having freedom from the concept of gathering together, we can be happy and joyful in our the presence of ourselves, and with you know basically playing inwardly. I was saying at the beginning of this pandemic that the only way out is in, because you couldn't really go out, so dive in as deep as you can. However, the diving in, I believe, has been enough now. An year, it was a sabbatical year for many of us. We've all repented from excessive traveling, excessive socializing, and myself from excessive conferencing. Now I hope our sins are forgiven and we can again do the things that makes us joyful. I loved yesterday to see the city of Brasov being so buzzing with energy, so buzzing with the joy of people gathering together, having meals together, walking together, talking about all sorts of subjects. However, we all knew that at 6 p.m. we have to like vanish from the terraces. So it was this buzzing noise behind it all, which were saying or feeling, this is limited, this is for a brief amount of time, this is really um, gonna end soon. And everybody was like making the best of it. Oh, let's stay 5 minutes more, or let's call this one and have him come over because we still have 40 minutes or something. There was this heightened enjoyment, like people were making the best of it, they were appreciating it more, and so on and so forth. I believe it has a good side, to be able to look at things with a grateful heart when you know that soon it will end. And you can look at your whole life like this. Actually, if you look at your whole life enjoying, tasting, savoring every moment, every teeny weeny pleasure, and any taste, any touch, anything, with the awareness that this too shall pass, soon it will end, it's temporary, and you have to make the best of it. When you live the life in this way, and I know I'm getting really philosophical, but it's true, when you live the life in this way, you are basically squeezing the old juice out of this fruit that's called life on earth, right? And you still have that freedom, right? When you're able to meet your friends, make the best of it, hug the the heart out of them, hug, make sure you tell them how much you appreciate. Make sure you don't leave stuff unsaid or unattended, so that you can have the best of that gathering or of that meeting. I was at the washing car wash yesterday, and people are so happy when you're sending out love, because nowadays everybody's feeling dryness or desperation to some degree. And when I go there and just emanate love and cheerfulness, and I'm so happy to basically just have my car cleaned, because I love clean environments. People are really happy, and the guy who was washing my car was actually an old man, you know, a little bit looking like Santa Claus, really old, who's really cheerful whenever I come there. And this time, for some reason, he did an extra service to me, and I said, you know, I wanted to say your, you know, in Romanian, te iubesc means I love you. So I started with te iubesc, and I wanted to say, the girls at the cashier really love you, but you say the same, te iubesc fetele de la casă, or te iubesc eu pe tine. So I started with te iubesc, I love you, and or you are loved, and he said it right back, I love you too, without waiting for me to finish my phrase. I meant to say something else, but when I see him so joyful and ready to share love, I just, you know, I was just enjoying the moment. So people are like this. People are ready to make the best of it, to pour their heart out, to really share. Like, there's not so much superficial stuff right now in our at least with my friends, at least in our gatherings, because now we are aware of the quickness of it all, of the of how quick it goes away, of how volatile it is. Right now we're seeing each other and we're able to hug. We don't know about tomorrow, you know, because the laws and the conditions are changing so fast. But the truth is, if you're looking at it, your whole life, you don't know about tomorrow. This current situation is just helping you or making you aware of it. So the ultimate freedom in this topic that Anna Maria has approached is to make the best of the moments that you already have with your friends, to make your parties, the ones that you can have, exquisite, like sky high happiness, not spending time on your phone, not discussing never ending businesses, but making the best of that moment. Like, ask real questions, go deep in real topics, in stuff that puts your heart out, right? Because that might be your only moment. And I've always looked at my friends or dear ones lately as if this might be our only or our last moment, because I never know and they never know whenever this will end, right? So I'm inviting you to that raw freedom of being soul naked in front of your people when you finally meet. To be completely and absolutely in love with any gathering that you participate in without missing any moment of it. To be absolutely honest and frank and open with any encounter where you can share stuff with another person. That will give you a sense of freedom. You'll never feel that you're missing out on more, or what if we were more, what if we could do more stuff, because if you're vibrant, alive and authentic in even a phone call, that fills your heart just as much as a big public gathering or concert or party. Yet we still want to have those too. Yeah, I agree to that, and I do want freedom in that as well, because soon we're having the Pranic Festival in Romania in August, and I do want that freedom, of course. Who else wants to share What type of freedom do you want? What do you want to see? In which area would you like more freedom in this world? Which is the area in this world, in this current now life, where you would love to have more freedom? Looking forward to hear from you. And if you have any questions on anything, make sure that you ask or add, because we're ending in about 10 minutes max. We're ending this sharing, and you can still be with us for the whole webinar, but it involves an energy exchange, and it involves, you know, subscribing to the class if you want to join the full class. And remember again that on April 22nd, we're starting a new series, and it's deep meditations that we're sharing together. Okay, so if there's not any other questions or comments of tonight, remember that the ultimate freedom for the ones interested in pranic nourishment, I want to add this because I feel some people are in this call. The ultimate freedom is not to stop eating. I tell everyone, this is not the ultimate freedom. This is just a stepping stone on a wider path, and it can be included, or you can just not require it. For example, there are people on their path, this is not something important now, right? So don't make that the ultimate goal of your soul. Make sure that your ultimate aim is to be free, to be boundless, to be fully connected. That's when, if necessary, pranic nourishment comes as a byproduct. As a byproduct of your connection, as a byproduct of your alignment, and as a byproduct of your inner freedom of all dependencies, habits, and programming that you might have had. So this is why how I complete the Facebook, in order to be able to join deeper with the participants that are on Zoom. Sending you big hugs. Thanks for being here. If you want to be with us in the full webinar, type me a private message and we include you. Much love and blessings, and see you next on April 22nd for the next Pranic process online that starts. You have all the details in the link that I posted in the comments, and you can join in online for 1 hour per day for 8 days. It will be awesome, as this has been awesome as well. Much gratitude to all. See you soon.